In this video, we are joined by the one, the only Mr. Theme Park Wizard. We're talking about Universal. We're talking about Disney. There has been a ton of stuff in the news cycle lately. It's a lot to break down, but we're going to talk about it with Mr. Wizard up next on OG 55. Welcome aboard, everybody. Booyah, exactly. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG 55. I am joined by the one, the only Mr. Theme Park Wizard. We're going to talk Universal. We're going to talk a lot of Disney, too. But, Mr. Wizard, welcome back, man.
Welcome back. Thank you for having me. I am a little orange on the grove, and I'm very excited to be sprouting today.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. Oh man, that's clean. That's clean. I like that.
That's nice.
I like that. So, Wizard, if you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, where they can subscribe to you, and all that good stuff.
You can find me on YouTube at Theme Park Wizard. Subscribe to there to get me the 4,500 subscribers. You can follow me on Twitter at Park Wizard 1, Instagram theme_park_wizard, Facebook Theme Park Wizard, patreon.com/club722. Where if you get to the magician tier, you can listen to this rumor podcast that I just filmed with this guy right here, the OG 55. Check that out. Episode 2 comes out Monday, only on the magician tier or higher.
Nice. Yeah, make sure you follow, subscribe to all his platforms, and I actually do have an announcement. Okay, so for your Patreon, right? You can sign up for free, but if you do one of the paid tiers, now how many paid tiers are there, Wizard, on your Patreon?
Oh, there's 4. In fact, we can take a look at them right now.
Okay,
Breaking news, people. This is breaking.
Here we go. Yeah, before we start, I want to bring this up because this is actually kind of interesting here.
Boom, crushed it. Here it is. Oh, hold on. I get it.
Oh.
Hold on. I know, stupid thing. Oh,
there we go. Okay, so this is his Patreon. Okay, so anybody that does one of the paid Patreon tiers for a Theme Park Wizard, if you can screenshot it that you've proven that you've done one of the paid tiers, I will send you a gift card. Okay, so go ahead and do that if you're interested, and you can email me orangegrove55@gmail.com with your screenshot that you did in fact subscribe to Wizard's one of the paid tiers for his Patreon. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. If you do that, I will send you a gift card. So we support Mr. Wizard, and so if you can send that over to me, that would be awesome, absolutely awesome. So Wizard, thank you so much for joining.
That would actually be phantasmic.
Very phantasmic, very fantastic. So let's dive in, dude. There's a lot to talk about, man. I mean, it's crazy how much they're turbocharging now these parks.
Turbocharging.
Oh yeah, turbocharge.
Vroom.
So okay, let's talk about this. So there was the annual shareholder meeting, and Bob Iger was asked a question via AI about Epic Universe, right? And to kind of sum it up, and the Italiano and I talked about this on a video released today as well, but I want to get your opinion on it. It's, I don't know. I think he botched it. I think there were much better responses he could have done. But in a nutshell, he basically said, hey, look, we've known about Epic Universe for a decade now internally at Disney. And in that last decade, we released this ride and this ride and this ride and this ride. And look, yes, they have. They've released a lot of attractions and even lands within that last 10 years. I felt it was a cop-out. And you know me, Wizard, I'm not big on this whole kind of panic to like, oh, they have to respond to Epic Universe right away. I'm like on that in that camp. But even I'm thinking, okay, this was a bad call on Iger's part. He could have handled it much better. What are your thoughts on his response? Were you kind of underwhelmed too, or could he have handled it better?
First of all, Bob Iger can take you off his payroll now that you said that. That's
true. I just lost my special access. Damn.
Yeah, messed up. But and second of all, yeah, it was kind of weird the way he answered that because I don't know. I feel like he said almost anything else. He could have said something like we have plenty of new exciting additions coming in the next several years. He could have brought up the 17 billion again, right? We are investing $17 billion in Walt Disney World. We are situated just fine to handle Epic Universe, something like that. I don't know why. It's weird that he went back from attractions 10 years ago to now to say that response. I feel like he could have just said something generic and would have been infinitely much better than that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's like, it's kind of funny because I talked about this in the video the other day too, where it's like, so is he saying that they wouldn't have built these attractions if Epic
Universe, right? Like, which that would have been really strange.
Yeah, exactly. So you mean to tell me that they wouldn't have done Cosmic Rewind if it wasn't for Epic Universe? Of course they would have built that still. That's a massive franchise for Disney. So it's like, I feel like it's a cop-out. Like, so basically he's just using everything they built in the last 10 years as an excuse to say that's our response. Okay. Bad call, Iger. I do not agree with how you handle this. If you really wanted to get spicy, if you really wanted to really do it, what he could have said was, you know what? Epic Universe is a response to us. We're the ones that have the most parks, the numbers right now, and they're responding to Disney. He could have got spicy like that. He didn't go there, but I get it too, where it's like he could, I understand because he doesn't want to seem like you're panicking. You don't want to have a panic vibe, obviously, at a shareholder meeting, but at the same time, you also don't want to come off like you're blowing it off. And it's not a big deal because it is a big deal. Universal is building another park. It's a big deal. So he has to balance that out. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the challenges there, but he handled it wrong. I think he spent way too much time on what they've done the last 10 years, especially at a shareholder meeting. We want to see what you're going to do moving forward.
The future, exactly.
Right. And he touched upon it for a little bit. He mentioned the 60 billion and all that, but it was like 2 seconds of the future. And like the rest of it was all about the past. Bad call, Bob. Bad call. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, I think that was probably the worst moment in the whole, right?
I agree.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. So now let's talk about some of the stuff though that they've announced though, because actually the day after that they've been releasing stuff like crazy. What are your thoughts? Because we were told from Daddy Josh and what have you and Iger that they're going to turbocharge the parks division, right? And it's become almost kind of like a meme at this point. Do you think that we're seeing signs of them turbocharging these parks with the Animal Kingdom stuff, the Magic Kingdom stuff, the Pandora? Are we starting to finally see some actual signs of turbocharging, or is it still kind of underwhelming?
Yeah, I think it's starting to happen with the permits being filed for the Disney World parks, the Avatar concept art for here. I think there's definite turbocharged signs, and especially as we head into the next year, I think there'll be lots of construction based on lots of closures and construction. Test Track is getting its refurb starting in a couple months. Tiana's will finally be opening. I think things are moving and things are shaking.
Moving and shaking. Okay, you brought up Tiana's. I was actually going to bring that up next. Actually, what are your thoughts? They've released some footage on the Imagineering YouTube channel of some of these animatronics. Tiana, Lewis. What are your thoughts on what you saw from that footage?
They look quite incredible. I'm so glad that she's going to be in her princess gown at one point. At the end, because I was like, come on. I mean, people are looking at Tiana, they don't think of her in the safari thing, they think of her in her princess. So I'm glad she'll be there at the end of her journey. But yeah, they look great, and some are very big, like Luis, humongous, and Mama Odie I think looks the best because she looks just like Mama Odie. Well, they all look just like each other, but Mama Odie looks fantastic. So I think it'll be really fun. Each they finally, it's funny. The Disney PR system, I don't know, maybe they replaced them, but in the past, they seem to not say anything to get anyone hyped for the anything. um, but now it seems like again, maybe via Bob Iger or something, maybe there's a different director or different. But I don't know if you notice, it seems to have been like maybe like a change, and it seems like they're actually like instead of talking about research trips and trips to New Orleans, they're actually showing stuff from the attraction videos. So it seems like they're doing stuff to get people excited for the actual thing they're gonna ride because no one really cares what they did in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, exactly. The research trips, like I get it. I mean, they've been doing research trips even in animation for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a point where, okay, you touch upon that and you stress, hey, we did these research trips and they were for, to get the authenticity, and that's fine. But you're right, Wizard. It was getting to a point where every news drop for Tiana's was about the research trip. It's like, we want to hear about the ride. How is the ride going to be fun? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we never got any of that. And finally, they're moving away from that. Finally, we're getting some animatronics. Now, are you concerned? Because Splash Mountain has a huge amount of animatronics. They are cutting that back, though. I think we're going to get like 25-ish or 30 animatronics now, where before it was like, I think 70-ish around. Are you concerned that because we know that these animatronics are going to be better than the ones in Splash Mountain, but being there's less of them, are you concerned that that's going to be an issue for the overall vibe of the attraction because there's not as many animatronics?
Well, I've seen some of that online there, and my question is, first of all, the 70, how many of them actually worked all the time, right? I mean, I know some in Disneyland's version, because of its so old, they actually couldn't fix some of them because the new regulations and stuff, they'd have to be harnessed and stuff. They just couldn't get to the spot, so some would have to actually remain broken. So I mean, does that even count as an animatronic at that point? So I mean,
yeah,
I feel like, and these also are bigger, so I feel like these can take up the space of maybe 5 animatronics that were on Splash Mountain. Like Luis is humongous, right? So I feel like it won't make too much of that difference. I feel like there'll maybe some projection mapping to enhance the scenes if there's any empty voids and stuff like that. But I think, and these are be all really impressive animatronics. I don't think it'll be that much of a difference, to be honest, because they'll be much more fluid. They'll all be working. They'll be put and built in a way that if one of them's broken, they can be easily be fixed. Because I'm sure that, especially in our Splash Mountain at Disneyland, I'm sure they're doing their structural enhancements. They have to enhance for Cal OSHA standards and everything, so they can be able to fix stuff. So I think it'll be an overall improvement, and I don't think it'll be too noticeable. In fact, it'll be, I think, more noticeable in a positive way because as you know, they're enclosing our first drop, so then we have an additional show scene. So that seems pretty cool.
That's a great point. And yeah, you bring up a good point too with the mixed media, right? Like Splash Mountain was really all about the animatronics. I mean, there really wasn't anything else in there, right? It was animatronic, which is awesome. We love animatronics, but with Tiana's, we're getting less animatronics, but we're getting more mixed media. We're getting projections and other effects mixed in with those advanced animatronics. So I think you're right, Wizard. I think it's gonna the lesser the lesser amount of animatronics are going to be offset by newer technology woven into that equation, and I think it'll be just fine. And that's also a great point too when you're talking about the enclosed first drop and things like that. They're enclosing that because there's going to be show elements. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's positive all around. So we'll see, man. Tiana's is not perfect. I have some criticisms. I think the mountain itself looks pretty good. I would have probably kind of pull back a little bit on the amount of foliage. It's a little intense, stuff like that. It's not a perfect thing. It's okay to criticize some of this stuff, but I think for the most part, I think it's going to be a pretty fun attraction. And I think that, there's going to be some stuff in this ride where it's going to be better than Splash Mountain, and there's going to be stuff, admittedly, that probably will fall short of Splash Mountain. But I think at the end of the day, it'll be a worthy addition. You know, it's not going to be a disaster by any means, at least from what I'm seeing. You know, and I agree with you. Mama Odie is the best animatronic. We made that
look
video.
at her. I can't wait to see Juju. Oh, I did see Juju, but I can't wait to see them interact with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And the music too, dude. The music too. It's originally we heard it was all new music, and people were nervous about that, right?
I was definitely nervous about that too, because the music was so good. So I'm glad when they started changing their tune, and then of course we got that video from Disney Drew dude of down in New Orleans playing. I'm like, oh, I watched that like 300 times. No, like more like 30 times. But I was bouncing my seat. I got that one. That single video got me more hyped than anything Disney Parks vlog ever put out about this attraction.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, no, and shout out to Drew. He's an awesome dude. He's an awesome guy, and he does like a lot of great content. But like, yeah, I'm glad that they're weaving in some of the older songs, and they're gonna have some new ones mixed in there too. It seems like they're listening. I think when Bruce Vaughn came back, I think he shook things up. I think he looked at some of the stuff and said, you know what, we can't do this. We gotta add some of this stuff in here. You know, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting, but we're going to know pretty soon because Florida's version opens up, this summer, I believe, right?
Soon, yeah. Soon. Hopefully by June. I mean, they're testing with music already, so I feel like it has to be open by June. I'm still calling June 10th, but, and I was thinking about then doing opening day at the shareholders meeting, but it occurred to me that this next week, they're going to unveil like the third set of new characters or whatever, so I feel like maybe because that's the last set, so I feel like maybe that'll come with an opening date, this week. So I'll have to see. Yeah.
Okay. June 10th. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you might be on something with that because they're going to want to get this open before the hot summer season. So we'll see, man.
And
we'll see.
Before I don't know when the schools and stuff end, but it's not always good to get an attraction, a new one, open before like the summer crowds come crushing in. So they have like a couple weeks to kind of like test and adjust with some lower crowd levels at Disney World. Again, I don't know the Florida school situation when they all get out, but if they do it before like the school season, schools get out, they'll have some like a quiet period to really kind of work out all the kinks before all the major crowds come crush the parks for the summer.
Yeah, well said. Now, real quick, we're going to talk a little Avatar, then we'll dip into some Universal. Avatar, Pandora. We got that concept art over at the annual shareholder meeting. Crazy art. Now, that was commissioned by people that worked on the movie, so that was interesting, But like, what are your thoughts? Like right now, because the big speculation is where is this thing going to go? Now, Daddy Josh was saying they need Disneyland Forward to do this. So that kind of at least narrows it down a little bit. But Wizard, where do you think this thing is going to go?
It's interesting, yeah. I know the rumors Hollywood Land with a Shanghai boat system, and at least from the you can see the Shanghai boat system basically in that beautiful concept art. I think one of two spots, either Hollywood Land or the Disneyland Forward or the Simple Lot area, right. or maybe even part of a third park. But I feel like definitely one of those two areas. Hollywood Land needs a lot of help, so I wouldn't be mad at it. But as I mentioned to you before, that transition, I don't know how the transition will work between Hollywood and Avatar, but boy, that area needs so much help. But also, as I mentioned to someone else, if it does go to Hollywood Land, I like Monsters Inc. So I know there's room for a dark ride in Pixar Pier. There's space for one. So I'd hope they'd move Monsters Inc. to Pixar Pier where it belongs, really. And so I hope if it goes in there, we don't like totally lose, Monster Inc. Because that's a nice ride there. And Pixar Pier could use a dark ride. So I hope they just either import the same one or do a different version of Monster Inc. on Pixar Pier. So that way we really get one new ride, but we don't lose anything for California Adventure. We just literally increase capacity and keep a nice family dark ride in there as well.
Yeah, no, well said. And that, yeah, you're right about Monsters. I actually like that ride too. I actually like it quite a bit. And maybe they can even do, like, let's say, even if they don't necessarily take Monsters and put the Monsters dark ride in Pixar Pier, maybe if they build a Pixar dark ride on Pixar Pier, but utilize some of those Monsters animatronics, right? Something, I would hate to lose all of it. Because you're right, that's a great ride. It really is. It's really cute, for kids and stuff. And even to kind of throw back to Splash Mountain a little bit, it's like a lot of the animatronics in Splash Mountain were reused animatronics from America Sings.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue that tradition here with monsters, right? Take those,
Yeah,
take those.
because I mean, there's literally like nothing wrong with it, and it's popular. Every time I go, there's a lot of people. Of course, the Lightning Lane made it even more popular, but the wait times. I mean, even without that, there's still a nice line for it. It's not like people don't like it. It's just an unfortunate location. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well said, well said. Now, our last and final topic of the day is Universal. Now, Universal Hollywood's been making moves, man. They've been making moves.
Moving and shaking.
They've been moving and shaking. So we got the Fast and Furious roller coaster moving real fast, right? I mean, no pun intended. No pun intended.
And furious.
They're moving fast and furious over there with the Fast and Furious coaster. So any updates on that? Because I've been seeing the imagery, like you and theme park conductor, a lot of great stuff. Both of you guys. But it seems like it's moving pretty fast, man.
It isn't. You know, we should begin some more track and supports this month, and a nice opening time frame. So I'd still say early to, well, probably early to middle of 2025 would be the opening time frame, and as long as as long as it doesn't keeps raining around here. I don't understand why, but if it stays dry, then we should be on track for early next year. As they literally on track. Got it. But for next year, as once we get those supports up, once all the supports up, then it's basically like putting Legos and placing tracks, like putting Legos together. Pretty fast, pretty easy. So, and I don't expect there to be much theming on the coaster part itself. So it should be pretty fast. And hopefully, right now, of course, Universal's focused on the 60th stuff. So I feel like after that, then it's Horror Nights. But I feel like in between that Horror Nights time, or 60th Horror Nights time, maybe Universal will, give us an official name, an official concept art for the thing. We'll have to see. But I'm guessing that's the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Wizard, you did say easy, and when you say easy on OG55, there you go. Over. There we go. There we go. Universal making it look easy. Now you mentioned the train.
Easy lemon squeezy.
Exactly. Hold on. You know what? One more time. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's talk about this tram tour, because that's a personal favorite of OG's. I love the tram tour. And there's been kind of, for the 60th anniversary of the tram tour, there's been a beautification project, so to speak. We got the glam trams are back, the old school trams, which look amazing. We got the new popcorn bucket, the glam tram popcorn bucket, which I will say Universal has stepped up their popcorn bucket game quite a bit.
I know they really have. It came out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, where did all these popcorn buckets come?
I was telling you, man,
I feel like Disney and Universal, they each version of the popcorn bucket gets bigger and bigger. I feel like, I don't know how these people keep any shelf space. They get massive and more massive.
I've never been a popcorn bucket person, but my ex-girlfriend actually had a bunch of the Universal ones, and the Universal popcorn buckets are really high quality. Like they're not like they're heavy, like they're thick plastic, right? They're not cheap. Yeah, they're good. They're cool.
And usually, almost all of them light up in some capacity, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. So they got the tram one, and they're doing this whole big celebration for the tram tour. If you want to let my audience, because my audience is, we do a lot of Disney, we dip into Universal, but not quite as much as you do. What's coming to the tram tour for the 60th? Because it's pretty exciting.
So you have the 7 of the trams be dressed up in the glam trams, which will be nice. They'll have Jimmy Fallon, I guess, was on a plot to film some like new tour footage, do host footage. And then you also have like I saw like that actress from Back to the Future. Like, you'll have some iconic cameos on the giving clips. Iconic moves. There's some people, some Jurassic Park will probably be giving some iconic cameos. So the video portion of the tour will be a little bit different. They have the runaway train that'll be turned back on with the only sirens, audio only there, but it'll be turned back on for you turn into King Kong. Then you'll be getting off the tram. Oh, they have the Hollywood sign, which is very cool. That'll be up after the celebration too. and they partnered with the LA Conservancy to get it just right, the replica based on the real Hollywood sign. So and it goes right by, which is very nice. It's super, super cool. Very Hollywood, because you're in the Universal Studios Hollywood. And the Jaw set's got a little refresh. The War of the World set's got a complete rebuild. It's the houses over that's almost done. And then you have yes, the Bates Motel and Psycho House has got a refresh, and you'll be getting off the tram there to have a whole collection of photo ops like the hanging jaw shark. The actual original glamour tram, or one of the cars is there to take a photo with you. And I think that's some other cool stuff. That's pretty much it. But yeah, it'll be a pretty cool celebration there with the studio tour. And then look for some interesting stuff to happen afterward, because a recent permit was filed for grading of the trees near the Mummy Hillside, and a lot of speculation has to do with that for the studio tour relocation project to the lower lot, which I heard will start transitioning in August after the celebration is over.
Nice. And I actually just renewed my Universal Pass. Shh, don't tell Bob.
Good.
Don't tell Bob Iger.
Special access.
Woo, don't tell Bob. I might lose those brunches with Bob on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? No, but I just renewed it, so I will definitely. And this celebration runs this month till when exactly?
April 26th through August 11th, but there's pass member preview starting April 18th. You have to make a reservation online. Mine is April 18th at 5:30 p.m. They go from 5 to 8 each of the 4 days there.
Interesting. And you mentioned too, I want to touch upon, they're going to move the tram tour entrance to the lower lot now?
Yes, the lower lot looks like by either behind Mummy, that hillside, or somewhere else, but there'll be a whole bunch of tree grading and land clearing coming soon to that area for that relocation project, and that's supposed to open with Fast and Furious next year.
Nice. Any updates? We know the Mummy is basically dead attraction walking at this point, but anything that you can update us on that whole thing?
Let's see. So the latest I've heard from the Mummy is that it'll be closing 2026 for that new that plus the sound stages for the new land over there. But the date always keeps changing. But we'll keep watching, because it's a dead attraction running, especially now after Fast and Furious opens, because they have a roller coaster to replace the roller coaster. So I look for that to be going away definitely by 26.
Okay.
That year, because it's very interesting to see what happens on that lower portion of the lot.
Yeah, exactly. With Nintendo there too, it's gonna. I mean, that's massively popular, and they're looking for ways to expand Mario and Nintendo and all that. So interesting stuff. And one other thing before we go, any new rumors or any new mumbling about like the Simpsons area? Like, have we heard anything new about what might replace that? Because
I haven't. I do know it'll be probably hanging around till the 2028 or 2027 when the contract ends, but I don't know what will be replacing it yet. I have to dive in there, but not sure on that one.
Yeah. I think that one too, because I from what I've heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Wizard, I don't think Universal is going to re-sign with Disney for that.
No way. No way, Josue.
They're done. You know what I'm saying? They're done. So yeah, that'll be something different, and I think that's a welcome change. I think that area, Universal has proven themselves to they've stepped up their game a lot since Springfield, so they can put something else. Put Dark Universe in there, please. Universal, put Dark Universe,
please. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, that'd be lovely.
That would be incredible. Okay, real quick. Actually, I lied. I got one more thing. I got one more thing. Isla Burke. What are your thoughts for the Epic Universe?
Oh my God, I love it. First of all, I love the How to Train Your Dragon film series, and I think it's so beautifully themed. I love all the rock work where they got 150,000 square feet of rock work there, and an impressive for Universal feat. Okay, let's take a look at all the rides. Right, you got the Fire Drill boat ride, the Wing Gliders coaster, and Dragon Racers rally ride, and of course the show. But Wing Gliders has a height requirement. Check this out. Ready? 40 inches. 40 inches. You know what that is? That's Space Mountain right there. That's 1 inch higher than Flight of the Hippogriff. So I think it'll be going about 45 miles per hour, but it's much longer, obviously, than Flight of the Hippogriff. So it's very like a true nice family coaster for Universal, which is great because they don't have very many of like low high requirement things, right? The Fire Drill boat ride has 0 height requirement. Anyone and their grandma can go on there, which is cool.
OG can go on that one. That's great.
Exactly. See? And the Dragon Racers Rally, well, certainly the most intense of the three, still has a height requirement of 48 inches, which is about in credit coaster level, I think. So it's not that land really is doing pretty well with regarding height requirements, which is quite nice.
Yeah, well said. Well, Wizard, it is always good having you on. We'll have you on again very, very soon. A lot's going on at Disney, a lot's going on at Universal. So we have a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So make sure everybody you follow this man on Twitter. Make sure you follow this guy on YouTube. He does a great work at Theme Park Wizard, also Theme Park Universe, right? And you got your Patreon, which I will be linking down below. And like I said earlier, down below. And like I said earlier on the show, if you subscribe to one of his paid tiers, and you can email me a screenshot that you did in fact subscribe, I will send you a little gift card. And so we support Mr. Wizard here. But Mr. Wizard, without any further ado, if you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, make it easy peasy, lemon squeezy, please.
You can go ahead and find me at Park Wizard 1 on Twitter and Theme Park Wizard on YouTube, as well as patreon.com/club722 for the Patreon. Instagram theme_park_wizard.
There it is. And Mr. Wizard's moving. You can see all the moving and shaking back there behind the scenes, you know?
Look at him. The brand new studio.
Woo, sheesh. Look at that guy. Look at you go. All right, Wizard, it was a pleasure having you on, brother. And we will have you on again very, very soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below and with all your comments in regards to everything we discussed today in terms of Disney, in terms of Universal. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55. Go ahead, Wizard.
Peace out. Eat out.
세상은 누구에게나 공평하게 추악해.